Oh, they're brutal. I know that, and I know they're everywhere.
From Mexico to right here in our area.
Granite City was the ground zero for the distribution of cocaine in the Metro East area.
Pushing the bad guys out of our town, tonight the operation that's helping to bring down the Mexican cartel. Plus, teacher misconduct. A math teacher is accused of committing illegal acts with a student. Tonight we have confirmed who the teacher is and what he's accused of doing with the student. And coming out and making history.
You engaged a woman at one point.
And calling off the wedding was obviously a tough decision.
The exclusive interview with Jason Collins, sports' first openly gay man. STL Now on ABC 30 starts right now.
This is STL Now on ABC 30, powered by News Channel 5.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Talia Kaplan. Let's get straight to your top local news stories. New tonight at 10, disturbing new details about a teacher accused of sexually abusing a student. Court documents released today describe the allegations against a man teaching in the St. Louis Public School District. 32-year-old David Marler, a math teacher, is charged with 11 counts of sexual contact with a male student who attends Soldan International Studies High School.
It's unusual and upsetting whenever an adult has sex with a child. And when that adult is a teacher, that's even more unusual and upsetting.
Prosecutors say David Marler had inappropriate contact with a student at a home near the school 2 weekends ago. Prosecutors say the student is between 14 and 17.
The defendant furnished the victim with an inhalant and suggested that or told him to inhale it. And the victim described the feelings as making him lightheaded and dizzy.
School officials would not comment. They referred me to yesterday's statement saying the safety of their students is their highest priority.
No, it's not. It doesn't have nothing to do with it.
The school would not allow students to talk to the media even though they had parental consent. Students said they were threatened with suspension. But students told me off camera they are shocked to hear Marler was arrested because he was one of their favorite teachers.
It's very bad.
Celestine Jordan has 5 grandchildren who graduated from Soldan and 2 there now.
I'm in awe because this is the first time something's ever happened here at the high school, that I've heard of, so it's like very disheartening.
Marler has worked for St. Louis Public Schools since 2005. He was a math teacher at Compton Drew Middle School and Fanning Middle School and started working here last summer.
You just have to pray because you don't know who you're putting your children in their hands, you just don't know.
If convicted, Marler could face more than 60 years in prison. He's being held on a $250,000 cash-only bond tonight. Anyone who believes they were victimized by Marler or any parent who thinks he had inappropriate contact with their child is encouraged to call the St. Louis City Child Abuse Unit at the number on the bottom of your screen. An 86-year-old man is in critical condition after a female driver allegedly hit him with her car, then took off. The woman is now in police custody. Police say the man was walking out of his dentist's office at Natural Bridge between Taylor and Newstead when he was struck. He went airborne, landed on the driver's front window and onto the street. That driver, with the assistance from residents, was nearby in her car, its window smashed. The victim's neighbors say he's lived in the area nearly 40 years. They were shocked to hear that he had been hit by a car for the second time in 5 years.
Oh, he's a nice fella. Yeah, nice fella. Stern, good neighbor,
Well, we have challenges on this roadway, and traffic safety is here quite often trying to enforce the speed limit at this location.
Police say there are cameras in this area and they're hoping that the video will provide more information about the incident. A man is recovering in the hospital tonight after crashing his vehicle into a building earlier today. His vehicle ended up in the currency exchange at West Florissant Avenue in Country Club Hills. Investigators say the man was older and suffered chest pains right before he crashed. No one else was hurt. Mexico to St. Louis, that's about 2,000 miles. But what happens there doesn't necessarily stay there. The Mexican cartels are doing business right here in the metro area. News Channel 5's investigative reporter Farah Fazal and photojournalist Eric Voss spent weeks tracking them.
Sometimes it's slow and steady. Sometimes it's hard and loud. But every time a train comes down the tracks in Granite City,
We just meet and eat.
it's as much a part of the town
You want another water?
as the people
They come in and they give me a bunch of trouble,
who come to the park grill.
and I send them home with a smile.
Everybody here knows your name,
Claude and Eileen, you good?
and they're glad you came.
Everybody's welcome.
We're simple, good people.
Carol Hancock moved back to Granite City a few years ago.
Safe and quiet.
Back to the place she calls home.
I thought what a lovely, comfortable little place to be.
Carol's home used to be one of at least 2 stash houses where dealers stashed drugs.
Our police department received a call from a local police pizza delivery man.
Just 2 blocks away from the police department.
We arrived to the front door and kind of peered through the front windows.
Lieutenant Craig Knight and his officers didn't find the drugs. They found a guy who answered the door with the name Chavez tattooed on.
He was a major player in a drug ring that ranged from Mexico through the Midwest.
Around the same time, 12 miles south, Caseyville police pulled over a woman named Sandra Seaman.
And we find out we have a street-level distributor.
2 arrests opened the door to Operation Midwest Express.
Granite City was the ground zero for the distribution of cocaine in the Metro East area.
The Metro East and the St. Louis area were now the Mexican cartel capital of the Midwest.
Oh, they're brutal. I know that, and I know they're everywhere.
Federal and state drug agents, small-town cops, the U.S. and the state's attorneys in Illinois were all dealing with a powerful enemy.
The Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico.
The pieces of the puzzle came together over several months and a few years. Small-town dealers reported to a regional guy. The second in command of the cartel network was living in Granite City. His boss reported directly to the cartel in Mexico. The cocaine came down Interstate 55, 57, 70, and 64 to stash houses in Granite City, Fairmont City, and Collinsville.
And they're able to get it right here to the street level.
Into people's backyards.
Right to the place where kids are playing.
Front yards, and on their streets.
You've got a white t-shirt, gray hat. Appears to be doing a deal right through the window.
You're looking at police surveillance video of drug dealers selling crack in East St. Louis.
There's that street level dealer, which is, 5 or 6, 7 degrees removed from the cartel.
Getting some out of the bag.
But they're connected.
Put this bag back.
A special drug unit of the Illinois State Patrol set up this kind of surveillance in Operation Midwest Express.
Still a deal there.
We build from the street level distributor, where did you get your cocaine? We go to the next person, where did you get your cocaine?
Officers found drugs, guns, and money, all traveling up and down the same highways.
The shipments from Chicago to the Metro East area came through vehicles, primarily SUVs, stored in the floorboards or stored in hollowed out doors.
We got cartel on the U.S. side. Recovery team is on the U.S. side.
The U.S. government considers the Sinaloa cartel the most powerful drug trafficking organization in the world.
Oh, yes, we have a splashdown.
The Sinaloa gets drugs into the U.S. through ships on the Pacific Ocean, rafts across the Rio Grande River, semis on highways.
We gotta run it, go!
Then on single-engine planes across the southwest border.
There's a big demand for cocaine.
Operation Midwest Express took down a network of 30 people running around $9 million worth of drugs for at least 3 years.
We dismantled an entire organization.
Officers stopped the shootouts and beheadings in Mexico from spilling into the Metro East. U.S. Attorney Steve Wigginton knows the fight isn't over.
They will fill the void.
The cartel is already back in business on the highways.
We're going to do what we got to do to get them out of here.
Back in the small towns.
I was shocked and dismayed.
And back in neighborhoods like Carol Hancock's in Granite City.
This will always be home.
She's not moving. The town where the trains never stop running is now the place where the cops want to know everybody's name.
Now, we've seen the cartel violence spilling over in Chicago, but could that really happen here? Officials say that's always a possibility. Wherever you have cartels, you have shootouts, home invasions, burglaries, and other crimes. They're going to fight for their territory. The drug trafficking routes are their bread and butter, and they'll do whatever it takes to protect them. Now moving on to what's happening across the country. The hunt for possible accomplices in the Boston terror bombings continues as authorities say they've discovered female DNA found on fragments of one of the explosives. The FBI's investigation of the Boston Marathon bombing is expanding. People briefed on the case tell ABC News almost a dozen individuals are now considered to be persons of interest. Today, President Obama was asked about the attack and said his administration and the FBI did not miss warning signs about the older terror suspect. Now to big news surrounding the Trayvon Martin case. Today we learned the suspect, George Zimmerman, waived his right to, quote, stand your ground hearing. Florida's stand your ground law allows for immunity if a defendant can prove he acted in self-defense. Zimmerman is charged with second-degree murder. You may remember Zimmerman told police he shot the unarmed 17-year-old in self-defense during a struggle over Zimmerman's gun. The trial is set to start on June 10th. Scary moments on board Air Force Two today. Vice President Joe Biden was on the plane when it made a difficult landing in Arizona. Officials say the plane ingested debris of some kind during landing, which was discovered during a post-landing inspection. The vice president returned to Washington Sunday in a backup Air Force plane. Coming up on STL Now is the exclusive interview we just can't stop talking about. From who he told first and ending his engagement. Tonight, Jason Collins speaks out about becoming the first openly gay man in American sports. But first, the controversial ruling that will have some of Michael Jackson's family members sitting out on the curb during this latest trial.
Today was the warmest day here in St. Louis since way back in September 13th. Find out what the temperature hit and how long we can hang on to the warm stuff. Stay tuned.
We're back now with the stories that are trending tonight. We begin with an exclusive interview with Jason Collins, the first gay male athlete currently playing a major U.S. sport. Tonight he talks about who he told first and the reaction he got from around the league. Check it out.
He is now the pioneering figure in all sports. His announcement sending shockwaves across courts, fields, and stadiums. Jason Collins coming out proudly to the world, the first openly gay athlete to play in a major team sport. An outpouring of support, including First Lady Michelle Obama and former President Bill Clinton. The 34-year-old veteran NBA player wrestled with sleepless nights, all over the agonizing decision to live his truth.
You write that you endured years of misery.
Well, when you keep telling yourself a lie, at some point you buy your own cover story, like I guess like a CIA spy or something.
Did you think you might grow up, continue to play, grow old, get married, have a family, and never come out?
I knew that I tried everything in the book as far as trying to convince myself, to lead, the life that you should.
You were engaged to a woman at one point.
Yes, and calling off the wedding was obviously a tough decision, but it was the right one because I knew I wasn't getting married for the right reasons.
You first came out to your aunt?
She was a first family member. I have a special relationship with my aunt. I love my parents and my brother and everyone else in my family, but there's just something about the way that I get along and just relate.
And she said she always knew you were gay.
Yeah.
Known for years.
Yes, and she had her suspicions about me, but she was extremely supportive, and yeah, she's a judge in San Francisco, so I guess she's good at reading people.
Your brother Jan, your twin brother.
Twin brother, I'm 8 minutes older, yeah.
He didn't know?
No.
How is that possible?
I am really good at playing it straight. Maybe he needs to hang out with my aunt a little more, get a discerning eye like she has. But he's been incredibly supportive to the point where he's almost like, I always had that big brother role. I was the center.
Well, it's 8 minutes after all.
Yeah, 8 minutes is an eternity. But yeah, I've always had that role on the team of being sort of, the quote-unquote enforcer, and I sort of, was protective of my little brother, who happens to be close to 7 feet. And, now he's sort of taken on that role of being, protecting me.
It's interesting, you write about how age of 12, first time you're allowed to listen to rap, hip hop, and that's when you really felt the difference from your brother. You didn't get his attraction to women.
Well, I think, yeah, all kids around that age, around puberty, you start noticing things, and yeah, there's a difference, obviously, between us.
What are you expecting from your teammates, your competitors, when you step back on the court?
From my teammates, I'm expecting support, because that's what I would do for my teammates. A team is like a family, the NBA is like a brotherhood, and I'm looking at it that we're all, support each other on and off the court.
You hoping other players follow your example now?
I hope that every player makes a decision that leads to their own happiness. Whatever happiness that is in life, I know that I, right now, am the happiest that I've ever been in my life.
The Plan B morning after pill is moving over the counter. Today, the Food and Drug Administration lowered the age to which girls and women can buy the emergency contraceptive without a prescription to the age of 15. It also said the pill no longer has to be kept behind pharmacy counters. Instead, the pill can sit on drugstore shelves just like condoms, but buyers would have to prove their age at the cash register. Caught on tape, frat party turns violent. Tonight, 5 people are under arrest after a brutal fight that started at an Arizona State University fraternity party. Police in Arizona say the security camera video shows just a portion of the fight, which actually took place inside an off-campus apartment complex. Several young men who were not students at ASU went to the fraternity party, and after an altercation, they allegedly returned with a baseball bat and a gun. None of those arrested are students at the school. Here on STL Now, we get to check in with the First Alert Weather Team powered by News Channel 5 to fill us in on the weather. And Cindy, it was such a gorgeous day out, but how long will it last?
One more day, Talia. So if you want to have lunch outside on a patio, on a deck, tomorrow is the day because things are going to change drastically by Thursday. High today was 87 degrees. That is 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. It was in the 80s all the way throughout the viewing area. 86 in Pittsfield, 85 in Jefferson City, Sparta 82, Flora hit 82 today, and we had plenty of sunshine. Cardinals have an afternoon game on Wednesday, and boy, that's going to be some nice weather. Expect noontime temperature in the lower 80s, should be mostly sunny. 85 degrees by 4 p.m. That ought to be our high tomorrow. So another great one, well above average. All comes to an end on Thursday. Strong cold front moves in. Showers and some storms by the afternoon. Temperatures will be falling. We'll start in the upper 60s. Friday, raw, 53 degrees with rain. Saturday, some showers. Sunday, we start to warm up a little bit. A chance for showers as well as Monday. Tuesday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms with highs back into the lower 70s. So we've got a lot more rain on the way, Talia.
Lunch outdoors tomorrow for sure.
You bet.
Thank you very much, Cindy. Still ahead on STL Now, it's the biggest music festival in St. Louis. Tonight we've got the act set to perform during this year's Lou Fest. This is STL Now on ABC 30. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.